Hey there friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and I've got a couple really special books to talk to you about today. I've been very hyped to do this video for a little while now because I think this is a really cool theme that links both of these books, even though the stories themselves are really different. And the theme that I want to talk about today is revenge stories. So how fun is that, right? Revenge stories. We all love a good story about revenge. It can be kind of cathartic, I think, right? To read about stuff like that, because obviously we can't all be vigilantes running around outside, right? Taking justice into our own hands. So sometimes it can be a little cathartic to read about stuff like this. Both of these books are also very fast-paced. There's a lot of intense moments in there too, which also is kind of a similar theme between them. So let's start with the very first one, and this is called The Collective by Alison Gaylin. And the subtitle here says, "No killer goes unpunished." So this is a very ominous cover, right? I absolutely love it. And this is about a group of women called The Collective who are all mothers who have lost their kids in ways that were either violent or that were directly somebody else was directly responsible for. So the main character in this book, Camille, is still suffering even though it's been years since her daughter was killed. She went to she was underage. She went to a frat party and was killed there. She ended up dying there. And Camille just can't let it go. Her marriage has fallen apart. She's, having a really hard time holding it together. And then she's approached by this group of women called The Collective. And these are women who have all experienced, if not the same thing as Camille, something similar, and they are all women who take matters into their own hands. And it begins as them acting out like how they would get their revenge and talking about it, and then it moves into something a little bit more sinister. And Camille is trying to toe this line between what is not only what is real and what is not real, but also what is justice and what is not justice. When do you become a monster when you are taking justice into your own hands for something like this? And that's a very interesting question, right? This book also has a lot of really cool twists, especially one at the end that totally blew me away that I was not expecting at all. I just loved this book so much. If you're looking for a really great thriller, fast-paced, intense, it's going to make you think too, right? Because you have to try to put yourself, and that is basically what books do, right? One of the great things about books is they provide empathy. They make you feel for these characters, right? They build empathy in you. And so it really makes you wonder, my God, what if I were in this position? What if I had a kid that was, that died in a terrible way that was somebody else's direct fault? What would I do? How would I act? How would I move on with my life, if I even could? Those are a lot of the questions that this book addresses, which is amazing. And like I said, lots of thrills, lots of twists and turns. The Collective. Now, this next book I want to talk about actually almost made it into my top 5 fiction books of last year. It only got taken off at the very end because there were a couple I read in the fall that just really had to be on that list. But I love this book. Most of the people that I know that have read this book absolutely love it. There's a lot of different things going on in this book that are amazing. And this book is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Razorblade Tears. Now, this is another revenge story in that it's two parents who are dealing with the deaths of their kids, but these are the fathers now. So in the last book, we were talking about the mothers who were taking justice into their own hands, and in this book, they are actually two fathers. So you've got Ike, who is a black man who has spent some time in prison, who knows how to, stay under the radar, right? He doesn't want any more trouble anymore. He's living a great life. He loves his wife. He loves his son, and his son is gay, was in a relationship with another young man named Derek, and both of these young men are killed. They are killed brutally. And Ike now teams up with Derek's father, who is a white man, and they have to try to figure out what they are going to do. Now, Derek's father is they're both so mad, right? Like, they're so mad at this, and they both have a lot of regrets too. So both of these are fathers of young gay men who they didn't really accept, right, when they were alive. They didn't accept them how they were. And now they have all these terrible regrets about what happened in their relationships with each other now that they're dead. So they find out that there is this, because they're trying to decide whether or not this was like a gay hate crime or if it had something else. And I won't go too much into that because it's a big part of the story. But basically, these two fathers go on this murder rampage. And I know murder rampage doesn't sound like like a really inviting topic, but it is amazing. This book is absolutely amazing. It's definitely violent. So I will say that it's if you're super squeamish, you might not like it that much, but I don't think it's really over the top. It's not a horror book, right? It's just a book about these two dads who have a lot of regrets, who are trying to bring justice to these people who wronged their kids. Right? What a great idea for a story. And I love it because you also have a lot. So you have the whole revenge part of it, right? So you're dealing with these parents with their kids and the revenge, but you also have a race aspect of it too, because like I said, Ike is black, and there's a lot of things that come up with race in this story, especially as he relates to this white father, and the police and things like that. But then also you have the homophobia aspect too. So you find that these two dads are now getting to know their sons more than they did before after their deaths, as they're going back over their lives trying to trace their last steps. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to think of the hate that is in this world. But it is so satisfying to watch these dads in their murder rampage. I'm just going to say. This book is so good. And it's not that long. It's not that long of a book. But it's totally amazing. And really intense, emotional. I absolutely cried during it a couple times because it was just so heart-wrenching. I loved these two fathers so much. I just loved them, and I really felt for them. And I don't have any time for homophobic parents, right? But I just really felt for both of them so much. So give this book a shot if you're looking for a really great, well-written story that has to do with revenge and these parents and family and acceptance. Razorblade Tears. It's amazing. Well, those are the revengey stories that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I hope that they sound really riveting and fun and exciting. If so, please feel free to get them from Farmington Community Library. You can put them on hold, come into either branch, and also please give this video a like. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.